Doodah Dave coming at you. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving and a great record store day, right? We had a record store day. At the front, let me say thank you for all my followers and all the kind comments, people that follow me either on YouTube or on Instagram. Also, we had record store day last week, so I bought a couple of things with Dylan likes movies, my son Dylan, so I wanted to feature those. So let's get right into it. And then we'll do a little from 1979 as we close out the 70s. This is the Allman Brothers live deep in the heart of Texas, deep in Texas, 1971, September 28th, I believe it was. This was the original band of the Allman Brothers, which was Dwayne Allman's band with Barry Oakley. You see them flanking Dickie Betts in the middle, the two drummers, J-Mo and Butch Trucks, J. Johnny Johnson, and Greg Allman on vocals and piano and organ. They also added on this album Juicy Carter, who was a reed player and was on some of the Fillmore concerts as well, but he's on 6 of these cuts. Let me tell you the cuts. It starts off with Statesboro. It ends with Hotlanta. You got Stormy Monday on here. One Way Out, which I thought was pretty cool. You don't often hear this band doing One Way Out, although the cut on Eat a Peach, that everybody knows, I think that's from I believe that's from the June 71. So this was September 71. At Fillmore East had come out in July, so this was shortly, and then Dwayne died in October. So 71 was a very important year for the Allmans. The first album to really break it for them. So this proceeds from this album go to the Big House down in Macon, Georgia, which is the Allman Brothers Museum. They have a lot of the original guitars and memorabilia and where they hung out, Macon, Georgia, where Capricorn Records was based, etc. And an interesting album. I mean, truthfully, not the greatest recording and not the greatest performances. You really can't stack it up against Fillmore East, and other people have said that. A lot of those recordings. I have other 70 and 71 stuff on CDs that I'll go over at some time of the Allmans. And I'm very excited to go see the Allman Betts Revival this Friday with my buddy Glenn. We're heading over to the Capitol Theater to see that. That should be great. So that's going to be Dwayne Betts and Devin Allman, and I believe Lamar Williams Jr. on it. And I think Barry Oakley's son also. So also on Record Store Day, I got this. This one, of course, is great. It's the 2-record set of Stop Making Sense, Talking Heads, released in 83, I think. 84. I believe it was an 83 performance. It's not a gatefold, but they gave a very nice booklet out with this that I have the hype sticker on. Where is the hype sticker? There it is. So exclusive, limited edition, clear vinyl. Kind of hard to see, but here's the booklet. And it's got everything from Psycho Killer through Take Me to the River and Cross-Eyed and Painless. You've got What a Day That Was on here from the Catherine Wheel that David Byrne did with Twyla Tharp, the Broadway show. You've got Heaven, my favorite, Life During Wartime, Burning Down the House, Swamp, Genius of Love, Tom Tom Club, Once in a Lifetime. So it's got all the hits plus some deeper cuts, and it's just great. David and Jerry and Chris and Tina just ripping it down. Yep. And very nice recording. Did a really good job on clear vinyl. I'll show you the clear vinyl real quick. And then we'll move to 1979. Okay, so that was my record store day. I just got these 2 things. It was at Barnes & Noble. It wasn't a big deal. Cool labels, and the other ones just like that. I'll show you a picture of the band if I can. And then we'll move on. The name of this band is Talking Heads. They got David Byrne in the big suit. If you have not seen this movie, I urge you to do it. It's on A24. I love movies, and I love rock and roll movies, and I love soundtracks from rock and roll movies. See if I got a picture of the band. I think there is. All right, well, this is not the band in concert, but it's the band, all of them. So Adrian Belew was in that band, and Steve Scales on percussion, and who was the other keyboard player was from Parliament Funkadelic. Oh gosh. Come on, Tina, Chris, Harry. Oh my gosh, I can't. Jerry Harrison. Where is he? It is totally escaping my mind. Well, put it in the notes if you can. Bernie Worrell, there you go. And rhythm guitar of Alex Weir. All right, so Bernie Worrell on the key, Steve Scales on the percussion, then your background singers Lynn Mabry and Edna Holt. From it was at the Pantages Theater in Hollywood that they recorded it in 83, I believe, because they were touring. It was the end of the tour, Speaking in Tongues, and they talked about each of them do liner notes in this. I don't want to spend the whole video on Stop Making Sense, but it's pretty interesting that they, after the second album, when they went to the third album, which is my favorite, Fear of Music, which I've talked about, they had trouble duplicating that live, so they had to bring in a lot of extra musicians. All right, let's move to Christopher Cross. All right, regardedly as one of the progenitors of yacht rock. That phrase doesn't bother me. I mean, look at this label. I mean, a lot of these guys lived in Santa Barbara, Michael McDonald and Kenny Loggins and stuff. And it's all right. I think the yacht rock thing, I think of Step Brothers and the Catalina wine mixer. This is just a great album. You've got Larry Carlton on guitar with Cross. By the way, Cross is a great songwriter. He's a great vocalist. He's actually a great producer and band leader, the way he puts things together. He has terrific background people. Lenny Castro on percussion, Victor Feldman on percussion, Chuck Finley on trumpet, Jay Graydon, guitar, Don Henley, Jim Horn on sax, Eric Johnson on guitar, terrific guitar player, Nicolette Larson. So Michael McDonald and Michael O'Martian on keyboards and background vocals, J.D. Souther on background vocals. So he has the best of the best of California. And who else? The drums. Didn't he have? I thought I feel like I'm missing one of the drummers, Don Roberts on saxophone. Anyway, it's the great Valerie Carter on background, who played with, sang backup with Little Feat, and had a lot of them on her album. We've covered her album before. Rob Muir on keyboards, Tommy Taylor on drums, Andy Salmon on bass. Just great. So Ride with the Wind was the big hit from this, and then Sailing, Ride with the Wind, dedicated to Lowell George. So in 79, we had two big losses that were covered in albums. One was Lowell George, who had a heart attack in 79 on his first solo tour, which is really sad. And it was actually in 77, but we'll get onto it. The Leonard Skinner had passed away in 77, so some people didn't have albums that came out till after that happened. All right, moving right along, in 79 we have Bonnie Raitt. This is The Glow from 1979, produced by the great Peter Asher, who produced James Taylor and produced Linda Ronstadt. So she's in that class. Wonderful album. Starts off with the old Sam and Dave tune, I Thank You. And then she's got Jackson Brown, Sleep's Dark and Silent Gate. And then The Glow is just a great song. And yeah, Going Wild for You, Baby, The Boy Can't Help It. Really good mix of ballads and up-tempo for Bonnie. Looking for this. Here we go. I love my original liner. There's the band. Billy Payne from Little Feat, of course, the ubiquitous Little Feat, who's on so many albums. They're guys. Bonnie. You got Waddy Wachtel on there. You got Peter Asher. So you've got some pretty have Freebo, her bass player. So you got some pretty heavy dudes on this. And say about the songwriting. So Isaac Hayes wrote I Thank You. But Sam and Dave, I know, are the big one. It was recorded in LA, of course, in 79. And George Massenberg worked on it, was George Massenberg? I think George Massenberg worked on it. He was worked with Little Feat. Actually, I don't see him, but here we go. I'd like to dedicate this album to the spirit of a very special friend, Lowell George. So that was the same on the other album as well, the Sailing album by Christopher Cross. Christopher Cross. It's not the Sailing album. I call it the Sailing album, but it has Sailing on it. What else did I want to say? Bill Payne, Waddy Wachtel, Rick Marotta on drum, Bob Glaub on bass. It's an outstanding band she has on here. Bonnie the Glow. All right, so let's move on. I will get bogged down with Bonnie and Little Feat and Lowell George. She was very close. She wanted to join Little Feat, just like Stevie Nicks wanted to join Tom Petty. All right, Nick Lowe. This was his second album, Labor of Lust. I've wanted this album on vinyl for a long time, because I had Nick the Knife, which I believe is his third or fourth, that might be his fourth album. He is just great. I've liked Nick Lowe ever since Armed Forces, which we're going to cover on another video, which was also 79, that he produced for Elvis Costello. Cruel to Be Kind is a great song. Crackin' Up, Switchboard Susan. There are so many really good songs on here. So this is the back, kind of a new wave-ish Brit pop for 79 on Columbia. He was on Columbia as Elvis was. And here's Nick doing his thing, being a pop star. But he was in Rockpile. Nick was everywhere. He was producing. He was in Rockpile. He was doing solo stuff. He was writing songs. People were covering it. What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. He wrote that, which Elvis made big. So this is a great album. Labor of Lust, Cruel to Be Kind, being the big single. Speaking of big stars, Kenny Loggins had moved away from Messina at this point. Messina, who had been in Buffalo Springfield and produced and in Poco. And this is a great album. I gave this another listen, and I kind of, the more yacht rock, I know we're talking the yacht rock stuff, because that was big in 79. Again, on Columbia, the Columbia labels for Kenny. Produced by Tom Dowd. That was a surprising member on here. Tom Dowd, of so many great people he produced. I just saw he produced I believe it was a Lynyrd Skynyrd track that was not produced, by Al Kooper, who did a lot of the first albums. Anyway, the big guest on here, of course, is Mike McDonald. This Is It was the big single. Junkanoo Holiday is kind of a cool, like, reggae, yacht rock reggae. Very Love Has Come of Age. I mean, you got a lot of ballads. It's Kenny. Here's his band. He has some of the guys from the Loggins and Messina band, and it's good. It's really good. It's really good. It's one of his best solo albums. Slick, yacht rocky, but if you get over that, and the writing, and Mike McDonald. I love Mike McDonald. I love him solo. I love him with the Doobies. I love him with Kenny. Okay, I am getting to Elvis Costello. I was just talking about Mr. Nick Lowe producing this, which he did, of course. And What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding, also on Columbia. Great cover. You got the kind of pop art, new wave-ish cover on the front, and then you've got the attractions, Elvis Costello and the attractions. On Columbia, this is a U.S. Press, Accidents Will Happen, Oliver's Army, Moods for Moderns, just senior service. I mean, Goon Squad. It's Brit pop to the max. Elvis and the attractions at their height in Armed Forces. His third album after this year's model. Really good one on vinyl. Okay, this is Slow Train Coming, and this took a lot of people by also in Columbia. Man, we had a lot of Columbia albums in '79. Bob, of course, had been on Columbia for a long time. Gotta Serve Somebody was the big hit, along with Slow Train. This was produced by Jerry Wexler and Barry Beckett of the Swampers down in Muscle Shoals, where I believe he cut a lot of this. Mark Knopfler is the big guest on this album. I know it's his Christian phase. You've got the crosses on the front and the back, the beginning of 3 albums. But it is a really, really good sounding album. Very well recorded, very well written songs. Actually, his voice, Bob's voice, is really strong on this, 79. And it makes you think. Goodman Man gave names to all the animals. When You're Gonna Wake Up. Just really, really great. I mean, if he'd done a gospel album, an R&B album or a blues album, nobody would have blinked. But, it's a Christian album and really interesting. Good stuff. I mean, a lot of stories about the album and all that. Live, some of this stuff, but this was in the studio, so we won't talk about live. They're probably good recordings of it. All right, moving right along. Going back down south, talking about Lynyrd Skynyrd. We've got, which would be next, we've got Charlie Daniels Band, Million Mile Reflections, 79. The big hit on this was on Epic. He was on Epic at that point. He'd been on Buddha and then moved to Epic. I'm not sure if Epic bought Buddha or what the deal was. I think there was some connection between them. And this band is great. Tom Crane on guitar, Taz Gregorio on the keyboards, double drums, Fred Edwards and Jim Marshall, and Charlie Hayward on the bass. And it's got Devil Went Down to Georgia. As I meant, that was the big hit on this. But Reflections is a great song. Talks about Elvis, talks about Janis, and then is dedicated to Ronnie Van Zant from Lynyrd Skynyrd that I talked about. Great album, Million Mile Reflections. Love Charlie Daniels. Very, very underrated Southern rock band. A Southern rock band that's not underrated, you can tell by their album Gold and Platinum, is Lynyrd Skynyrd. This was their greatest hits. I do greatest hits and I do live albums. This will wrap it up. This has everything. Freebird is live on here. It's got everything from the first 5 albums. I believe not everything from the first 5 albums, but the big hits. So many hits. Saturday Night Special, What's Your Name, Got That Right, Sweet Home, Freebird, That Smell, I Ain't the One, Simple Man, Tuesday's Gone. It's great. I love this album. I love listening to the sequencing, which is not quite chronological, but they've done it really well. It's got some live cuts. I mentioned Freebird is live, and what was the other one? Not Give Me Back. Give Me 3 Steps is live. Just a great album by Ronnie and the band before the demise of the horrible crash. So this came out after the crash, and the inside. I'll show you the inside. And there's cuts on here, as I mentioned, produced by Tom Dowd, but most of it is Al Cooper, who did, I believe, the first 4 albums. And that'll wrap it up for Record Store Day, beginning of 1971. Have a great one out there. Keep spinning. Please like and subscribe to my channel, both on YouTube and on Instagram, do.dave. We've got a lot more exciting stuff coming up for you, and good things in the works. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.